Hi, sixth graders. Okay, today you are going to be learning how to use the distributive model to evaluate expressions. So we know from yesterday that distribute means to share or pass out equally. We also learned to use it through multiplication and groups of, and we learned about repeated addition. Today, we are going to evaluate by using the actual method. So, the first one that we did was 4 groups of 3 plus 2. So we're going to work with that problem again. 4 groups of 3 plus 2. All right, in the distributive property, it's all about multiplication. So again, you're going to share or pass out, but we're using the distributive property. So we're going to take this 4 and we're going to share it or pass out with the 3. That's the first one because we know in the parentheses it really means that the 4 is being multiplied by everything in the parentheses. Groups of, right? So I have 4 groups of 3. I also have 4 groups of 2. So I'm going to start with the 4 and I'm going to multiply it by the 3. So I'm going to say 4 times 3 or 4 groups of 3. So I'm going to say 4 groups of 3. 4 times 3. Again, I can put my little multiplication sign in there. I'm also going to share this now with the 2. 4 times 2. And I use a plus sign because I had a plus sign in here. So now I say 4 times 2. Now I can just multiply straight across. Well, I know 4 times 2 is 8. And I know that 4 times 3 is 12, and so I end up with 12 plus 8, which if we look back, we can see we ended up with 12 plus 8 when we had 4 groups of 3 plus 2. It's the same thing. We're just using a different way to solve. There's a little rhyme that goes with this. It's called hippity hoppity, the distributive property. So hippity hoppity, the distributive property. Okay, let's do another one. Let's match it with B. B, we had 2 groups of x plus 4. So 2 groups of x plus 4. So B, 2 times x plus 4. Okay, we know from before we cannot put x and 4 together because x is x, 4 is 4. These two things may not go together. So instead, I'm going to use the distributive property. I have 2 terms, which means that I have to share my 2 different times. I do not want to forget about the second term. So hippity hoppity, I'm doing the distributive property. Okay, so hippity is 2 times x. And the hoppity, can't forget the hoppity. So 2 times 4, 2 times 4. And I have a plus sign in the middle, so I'm going to add. So I know that 2 groups of x is the same as 2x because I'm simplifying. And I know that 2 groups of 4 is the same as saying 2 times 4 or 8. So I get 2x plus 8. I may not put this with this because these are not the same things. This is the final equation, expression. This is the final expression. I could combine those two now and put them together, but just leave it. because we're looking at the distributive property. Okay, if we look back, we will see 2x plus 8 is what we got. Good work. We're doing awesome. Okay, our last example here was 5 groups of 3 plus 2y. So 5 groups, oh, way too far. 5 groups of 3 plus 2y. So again, hippity-hoppity, distributive property. All right, so I've got a term, and I have a second term. So here we go. Hippity is 5 times 3. Hoppity is 5 times 2y. Now I'm going to finalize it. Ready? 5 times 3 is 15, plus 5 times 2y is 10y. So I have 15 plus 10y. 15 plus 10y. Totally got it. All right, and the last problem is a try it for you. Okay, so we're going to do 2 new try-its because I don't want you to do the same ones because you've already done those. I want you to actually try the hippity-hoppity. Okay, so on your try-its, here are your try-its. Your try-its for today are 6 times 4m plus 8, and then another try-it. Your next try-it. What other number could we do? Do 3 groups of 9 plus 5n. Okay, so go ahead and solve those for me. Hit pause so you don't hear me solving them. Okay, hit pause. Hit it right now. Okay. All right, hippity-hoppity distributive property. All right, hippity. I have 6 times 4m. And a hoppity. I have 6 times 8. All right, 6 times 4 gives me 24 m's plus 48. All right, how did you do on that one? Remember, there's 2 terms. 1 term, 2 terms. Make sure that you include both of them. Nobody should be left out. We don't want anybody to feel bad. So make sure you get both of them, both terms in the equation there, or expression. I don't know why I keep calling it an equation. It doesn't have an equal sign. My goodness. Okay, let's go to number 2. On number 2, 9 is our first term. 5n is our second term. All right, so 3 times 9 is our hippity. So 3 times 9, little froggy jump in there to the 9. 3 times 9. All right, and we have a hoppity, hippity-hoppity, plus 15n. Oh, apparently my dog is done too. Okay, how did you do on this? How did you do? What is your answer to your essential question? How do you use the distributive model to evaluate expressions? How do you use the distributive model to evaluate expressions? What is the really important things that we did here to evaluate? Go ahead and answer that right here. And then off to this side, put in there that little box, the rating that you got. 1, I really don't understand hippity hoppity missing lender. I need to ask for help in the Google Meet. 2, I'm kind of there. I'm going to use the groups of method and I'm going to use this method to try to compare. 3, I understand how to share the number on the outside to the numbers that are both on the inside. Where are you at with your understanding? And then head on over to Google Classroom so you can see your practice work. And as always, if you need help, stop by and ask. Otherwise, make it a great day the Cougar way.